Thank you, Thurman. Now, I have a prepared speech here. I have somewhat of a prepared speech, but I met with Nashawn this morning, and I met with his mother this morning. And these words are wonderful cerebral words that tell you all kinds of great stuff, and I'm going to sound like an incredibly well-educated, smart woman if I share these words with you. But I'm going to speak to you from my heart, and I'm going to speak with you passion today, because that's what I feel. I spoke with a family this morning, and they were willing and able to open themselves up to me, and I thank you for that. I completely thank you for sharing your reality with me this morning. And that's where I'm going to go right now, because I'm the mother of a black son myself. And I got to watch my son go from being a beautiful young black boy to a horrible, scary menace. And unfortunately, in the last year, Felicia had to watch her beautiful, sweet little boy. Look at him, please, everyone, look at him right now. That is a beautiful young child. And this child had his childhood taken away from him, and he turned into a scary black man. And this happens all too often in our society. Now in December, amazing, wonderful activists went out to Plainfield. Frank, your name's in there. If I stuck with my prepared speech, that Frank O'Gorman, Cornell Lewis, and a number of amazing, wonderful activists were out there, and they were loud, and they made their voices heard. And you know what? They weren't just annoying activists interrupting driving patterns. They were wonderful people sharing truth and making people hear what was going on in their town. And that created change. The change that created was a shift in people's thinking. The change that created was the police department knew people were acknowledging that they weren't doing their job, and they needed to get out there and start doing their job. They, as Rabbi Berman said, they invited people to come out to be silent observers at a community conversation on race. And one of the things that came out at that community conversation on race is that people in Plainfield are not happy with what's going on in their town. But people in Plainfield don't know how to address what's going on in their town. They feel like their hands are locked. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to create change. That's where people like us come in. That's where activists come in. Because someone like Nashawn is not a public speaker. Nashawn is not an activist. Nashawn is not someone who wakes up every day thinking, how can I create change in this world today? What can I go out and do, say? Who can I write a letter of protest to? Where can I go stand outside and protest? That's not his world. Nashawn's job on this earth is to be a young man until he figures out what his path is, and then he should be able to go out and do whatever it is that path is. But there are those of us who, for whatever sick reason, can't think of anything else to do with our time but go defend freedom and liberty. That's what we do, and that's what we're here for. So this family needs us. The town of Plainfield needs us. Every place in this country where isms have taken hold and taken control, and people can't move beyond or around those isms, needs people like us to go out and be the voice for the voiceless. Nashawn is about to speak his truth. And the passion that's going to come from this young man's voice is going to share with you something that I can't share with you at all. But when it comes to creating change, when it comes to going out there and doing the work that needs to be done with the people in Plainfield so that they can address their racism, so that they can address their sexism, so that they can address their classism head on and create change, people like us need to jump up and do that. So I want everyone to sit and listen in a place not of judgment, listen in a place not of high-minded better than thou, just listen in a place of human spiritualism. And I want you to listen to what Nashawn has to say. And while you're listening to this young man speak, and as you're listening to him speak, keep an eye on what's going on with that family. Keep an eye on it. Listen, hear, feel, think about what's going on, and think about what you can do to create change in this specific instance. If your way of creating change is writing a letter to the Plainfield Police Department, do that. If your way of creating change is going out to Plainfield and holding up a sign, do that. If you do some great anti-racist work and you've got this program that you're willing to go do for free in Plainfield Middle School, give the middle school principal a call and go do that. But we all have a place to play here, and what happened to Nashawn was horrible. But what happened to Nashawn could have opened the door to creating real change in this world. So Nashawn, this is going to sound crazy, but thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for creating a place where people can begin to address this. And I'd like to ask you to come up right now and share your truth.
As Kamora said, we were talking with Nashawn and the family before we came here, and they shared their truth with us. And you know what? This is going to be hard for this young man, but confronting racism in America is always hard. And I just have to say that I don't get moved by too many things, but watching this young boy cry, this man-child, you know, moved me. Who's going to fight for him? We need people in the state and city government to stand up and make sure that people like this don't get scarred for life. And so, having said that, I'm going to let this young man speak and say what it is that he needs to say. Okay? It's all yours, son.
I would just like to say, I would like justice for my family for what happened to me, because I didn't really mean any harm when I moved to Plainfield. I just thought it would be a better movement for me.
Keep speaking. That's it? Okay. And so now we see the effects of racism in America and what it has done to this young boy, 16 years of age, when he was assaulted by a group of whites in Plainfield calling themselves the KKK Nation. And look what has happened. And shame on America for this, for the scarring of this child and that family. And I'm going to give it back to Kamora before I say something that's not exactly like a reverend should be saying.
But it's your turn to speak, Reverend. We're going to give that one a second. Okay, we're going to give that one a second. And we're going to sit on that. Because what you just saw is racism in America. I want everyone to sit on that, and I want everyone to be able to share that. Because you just watched a young child share. This happened 9 months ago, and he just shared with you what happened to him at that time. Now quickly in your mind, jump forward. I'm going to ask everyone just to, go to that pretend place in your head. What do you think that young man feels about white people in America now? What message has this young man received about white America, about white small-town America? It's a skewed and scary reality. What he's believing, what is his truth, what's his internal truth, is not the truth that any of us want to believe about America. But that's where he is. And so when I said that we need to stand up and speak for him, and speak for his family, and speak in solidarity with his family, one of the things I was saying is we need to repair the hurt. This young man knows that white people hurt young black children because they are different. This young man knows, his truth is, that the police department isn't going to do anything to keep him and his family safe because they are different. I like to believe that that's not the world that I live in, but that's the truth that he's walking in right now. We can change that, and we can create a better world for this young man, because as you see, there's pain there, there's hurt there, there's healing that needs to happen there. And if this family is left in this place where they are right now, with the police saying, you know what, we've got no evidence, we've got no one, we're just closing the case. Nashawn, sucks that you got beat up by a bunch of racist whites, but we're just going to leave it like that because we can't come up with anything better. What message are we sending to this young man, and what message are we sending to his family, and what message are you guys sending to my child?
Yes, sir.
Because there is no justice for young black men in Nashawn's world. You can throw statistics at him, you can throw individual incidents at him, but he knows there is no justice for young black men in this world because of what has happened to him and his family.